Thanks for joining me today. This is Danny and welcome back to my modded 1.10.2 series. Today we are going to be playing with RFTools Dimensions. We definitely have a good source of power right now, so we may as well do something with it, right? Because RFTools Dimensions does require quite a bit of power and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to grab a couple of items and we're going to head down to the little town to set up our little dimensioning area. Besides really enjoying dimension building and exploring new dimensions and all that kind of fun stuff, I also have some kind of practical reasons for making dimensions today too. And one of those is dimensional shards, so that we can upgrade a lot of our machines. And RFTools Dimensions is probably the best place, or perhaps actually I think in this particular pack the only place that we can get dimensional shards. So of course if you want to get into RFTools Dimensions, you might want to make the manual. I already made the manual, I already read the whole thing, and it was a lot of review. However, there are quite a few things that have changed in 1.10.2. We're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff. We're going to make a dimension builder. So actually we're going to need a bunch of machine frames, so I might as well make like, I don't know, 6 of those. We're going to need the dimension inscriber for sure. And we're going to need a dimlet workbench. Now this is one of the differences between the new and the old, is in the old RFTools you didn't necessarily need the dimlet workbench. Oh, we have a few things that we're going to need in order to make this. We're going to need this special dimlet base part. This is a basic part of a dimlet. It has no crafting recipe. What are we going to do? Well, throughout the world, we may find these little dimlet parcels. We can find these in dungeon chests. In fact, if you look in Wayla, that's the only place that you're going to see that you can find it. But Endermen also happen to drop them as well. We can take these guys and we right-click on them, and we get a bunch of dimlet parts. And these are what we're going to use to build dimlets. So you might remember in old RFTools that we used to get these unknown dimlets, and you'd put them in a dimlet analyzer or something like that it was called. And then you would get a dimlet out of it. Well, it's not that easy anymore. Gotta work a little harder to get dimlets now. We actually have to construct them. Use a modular storage from RFTools. We're going to make a RFTools. Let's see, RFTools storage. We're going to make a storage module. This is not going to be a remote storage module. It's going to be just a regular storage module. And we'll go right to tier 3. Okay, so I've got our tier 3 storage module. I'm just going to dump all these in there. Let's see if we can get a base module. Okay, we didn't get a base module. Okay, so I guess we're not going to be building any dimlets quite yet. We'll have to... You know what we could do? There are some dimlets that we can craft. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break this block. We're going to finish making the other stuff that we need, and then we're just going to construct a dimension, default dimension, and see what we get. Empty dimension tab. So this is... This is what's going to allow us to build dimensions. That's going to be like our, oh boy, creepers on top of the buildings. And butterflies. So I've decided that we're going to use this space for our dimension building and teleporting and all that stuff. Our little apartment above the shops. So it's not, maybe it's not the most suitable space for this, but we'll make it work. So we need a dimension builder in here. We'll just put that there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this... Yeah, whatever. That'll be fine. Dimension builder, and then we're going to need a dimension inscriber. And then our modular storage will just set over here, because that doesn't need RF. I have a power cell. I'm just going to put this guy right here for now. And that'll pump power. Nope. We have to say output. That'll pump power into this. So we put this guy in here, and normally we would put our dimlets up here to describe the dimension and different things about the dimension and all that kind of stuff. But since we have no dimlets whatsoever, and we can't really, you know what, there are a few we can craft, and I would like to craft a few dimlets. So I'm going to make an effect none dimlet, just so we don't end up with a dimension that has like a poison effect or something like that. Feature none, we'll use random features. Controller default, well, we'll let that be. I think we need dimensional shards for that anyway. Oh, we don't. Okay, because these guys, these dimlet templates require dimensional shards. Weather default, I might want to do this. So the only terrain we can do is flat or void. That kind of stinks. Oh, whatever. We'll just deal with what we have, and we'll get what we get. Oops, okay. So boom, boom, we'll throw those in there, and then we'll just say store. So we've just created our first dimension. Actually, we haven't created it yet. We've just defined 1300 RF per tick. Oh, that's for creation. Sorry, never mind. Maintenance cost 60 RF per tick, so that's not too bad, which we shouldn't really expect it to be too bad for our first one. So it's going to suck 1300 RF per tick while it generates this dimension, which is fine because we have the potential to generate, boy, probably well over 20,000 RF per tick, so we're in good shape. Hooray, it's done. Okay, so now it's filling the dimension up with power. The dimension has a power buffer of about 600,000 or RF or something like that. Now what we want to do probably is take this guy and shift right click it. The dimension has been created and it now exists out there in the world. But we want to check to make sure that we don't end up with something that's crazy or dangerous. And by shift right clicking, we get all the properties of the dimension. We have a base seed, world version 1. Our terrain type is plateaus. So that's interesting. We have a base block of stone, which is good. That means it's going to be normal. A base fluid of null. Oh, maybe because it's plateaus. Okay. And biome controller forest. So the whole place is going to be all forests, probably of several different types. Structure, it's going to have mine shafts. Regular sun brightness, regular star. Sky color is white. Fog color is white. Magma cubes and cows. Oh boy. So what that means, you can specify special mob dimlets when you do this, so that specific mobs will generate like freaking crazy in your world. So this world is going to have tons of freaking magma cubes and tons of cows, in addition to normal mobs. So it's going to have zombies and skeletons and all that other crap, just like normal. But then in addition, it's also going to have a crap ton of magma cubes and cows. So that should be interesting. Why am I going over here? I forgot. What was I talking about that I still need? Oh, I wasn't talking about. I haven't talked about yet. How the heck are we going to get there, right? There's no way to get there. So the next thing we're going to have to start looking at is teleportation. And we've gotten this far in this series with no teleportation, and I've done that kind of on purpose because I'm kind of enjoying moving around the world physically. That's like, you know, building this town and kind of spreading things out like this was kind of something that I really wanted to do in this world, and I didn't want to just pop and teleport all over the place. I wanted to actually have like, you know, roads and ways to move around. But that is going to end today because we can't get to other dimensions just by using roads. So we're going to go to the regular RF tools, and we're going to make a matter receiver that's going to allow us to get back here. We're also going to need a matter transmitter, which is the opposite, you might notice, the opposite recipe. It's just the same recipe, completely upside down. And then we're also going to need a dialing device. And that is really all, except that, well, that's all we're going to need to get there. But we need to also be able to get back, right? So when you go to a new dimension, always make sure that you bring a dialing device with you and a matter transmitter, because when you create a dimension, it'll create a matter receiver so that you can get there, but it's not going to create a way for you to get back. So you have to bring a dialing device and a matter transmitter to each dimension, or my preferred method is to use a charged porter. And the charged porter, actually we'll just make the regular one first. The charged porter allows you to teleport from anywhere. So you just basically right click on it and you teleport, but we have no target because we haven't linked it with a matter transmitter yet. But what I would prefer even more so than a charged porter is an advanced charged porter, because that will allow us to save multiple teleportation locations. It also stores a lot more RF. This guy only stores a little bit of RF. I can't remember how much exactly, but we are going to have to charge our battery because every time you teleport, especially when you teleport in between dimensions, you do end up using a lot of RF. One more thing I want is an activity probe, but we can't make it until we get dimensional shards. Okay, so we'll make that when we get back, because when you create a dimension, it uses a ton of RF to make it, but then it also uses RF to maintain it, which we saw already. This guy requires, 100 RF per tick. Specified 60 RF per tick. Interesting. Okay, so this guy's sucking 100 RF per tick just for existing. And it currently, okay, so the buffer looks like it's changed now. The buffer is actually 40 million RF. So this dimension currently is storing 40 million RF. If we take this guy out of here, it's not going to, the dimension builder not only builds dimensions, but it also charges them, and it keeps them charged. If we take it out of there, you'll see that our current power is going down. So we put it back in there, and then the current power will go back up to 40 million RF. We don't necessarily want that happening all the time. When we're gone, when we're not in that dimension, we probably don't want it to be sucking power, because that's just a waste. And we'll see how to do that in a bit. Okay, so our matter transmitter, boy, the only problem is this floor is slabs, and I don't want a matter transmitter and matter receiver sticking up in the ceiling of our little shop. That would be, ooh, I could put them under there. You know what, I might do that. That might not look terrible. Just like that. Let's see how that looks upstairs. And actually, we almost don't even need a matter transmitter. Oh, no, we do need a matter transmitter. Never mind. For when we make new dimensions. So there's the transmitter. There's the receiver, and these guys are going to need power. Okay, so these guys are filling up. They are not filling up with power because why? Out. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's just because this conduit facade can only handle this conduit can only handle 640 RF per tick, so it's got to fill them both up. Or it has to fill this one up before it'll get to that one. Okay, so I'm gonna put facades there. Let's just not look at that for now. And then we need our dialing device, which I'm actually gonna put here or there. Yeah, we'll just put it here. So now we can see it's showing us two destinations. So this is our matter receiver. Actually, let's give these names. Matter transmitter, let's call this Main Street. And we'll call this one Main Street 2. Doesn't matter. So we have our Main Street receiver, we have our Main Street transmitter. So if we go in here, we'll see that those are labeled. Main Street and Main Street. This guy does not have a label because we did not give our dimension a name. We still can though. There's a way we can do that. If you want to give this dimension a name, we can go in here, we can extract it, give it a name down here, and say, let's say we want to call this random number 1. And then we store it again, and we can see it's now called random number 1. And but the matter receiver in random number 1 still doesn't have a name, so we'll just give it a name when we get there. So we can dial it, and it's going to use a little bit of RF to dial this thing in to that place. Now we have to make sure we have a way to get back. We still don't have a way to get back. So do not step into that beam, whatever you do, until you have a way back. Because there's only one way back if you don't have a way back. And that's death. If you die, you'll end up going back to your spawn. But then you lose all your stuff, which would kind of suck. Unless we gather enough resources in our new dimension. I mean, we'd have to like set up shop there for a little while so that we can make ourselves a dialing device and a matter transmitter. But what we do is we shift right click on this guy, and now receiver number 2 is added to the charge porter. If we just had the regular charge porter, that's all we'd be able to do. But since we have the advanced charge porter, we can shift right click in the air, and there's a whole bunch of them now. It used to only be 4. We can store 8 different locations. So right now the yellow one is the one that we are that's currently selected. So we go over here, we go bing, and we get teleported back here. Hooray! And then we earn the achievement, the world moved. And of course we could dial this one into this one too if we wanted to. And then we would just go here and it would take us back there, and we'd be like, hey, I can't get anywhere. Of course, each time we do that, we're sucking power out of these guys. But it's a very small amount of power because it's a very small distance. But now when we teleport out there, we're going to use a lot more RF. Because you can see this guy still has, well, it's taking power from our battery. But we'll see when we come back. No, we won't. Whatever. We'll figure it out. So now we're going to Okay. So this is plateaus. So it's basically an island world. Oh, look at that. You can see there's magma cubes everywhere. And we might also notice that this guy is down. It took 5,000 RF for us to get here. Oh, let's give this guy a name. Random number 1. Oh boy. Okay. This world is not going to have dimensional shards, is it? I don't remember anything about rain. Yeah, so anyway, here's our first dimension, but it's not going to be our last because it's not going to work for us. Dimensional shards come at Y level minus 40, and there is nothing at Y level minus 40 here, so we're not going to find dimensional shards in this dimension. And by the way, just to back up a little, the reason we want dimensional shards. Oh, what is that? Look at that. Hey, that's pretty cool. It's mine shafts in a kind of a void, which should make it easy to find loot. Except I don't see any chests. That must be a lush cave. No, there's no chests. Oh, that's a bummer, because that would be really cool. That would make finding loot really easy. So this is a dimlet building. It's kind of, if you ever played Mistcraft, it's basically like the library. So where you find dimlets, except you don't find dimlets there anymore. Now we just find... Oh, actually we do find dimlets here. If we can get in the door. Oh, I was totally wrong. Check that out. I like it when I'm wrong about those kind of things, but the chest used to be full of unknown dimlets. Oh, there's dimlets in here now too. Oh, bark wood planks. Controller, circuit rarity, dimlet parcel. Okay, what do we got up here? Obsidian, mangrove wood, large body sun. Okay. Then I turn that light on so that I remember not to come back to this place. Hooray, we got a dimlet base part. Nice. So now we can make our dimlet workbench at home. That was our first dimension. I'm going to make another dimension before we even start getting into dimlet building and all that, where we can get some dimensional shards. Because without dimensional shards, we're going to be limited in a lot of the stuff that we can do. Hooray, we can make a dimlet workbench. This is becoming a bit of a mess here. Let's see. Let's put it right there. Okay. So now we can see all the different dimlets that we can make. And if we hover over them, it'll tell us what we need. Every one of them needs a dimlet-based part, which we don't have any of. But what we can do is we can take dimlets that we don't want. Probably never going to want a material dimlet chiseled stone. We had two of them anyway. Probably won't want mob squid. Just, I mean, we can basically take anything that we don't want. We definitely aren't going to want andesite. You know, whatever. Okay, so we can take these and put them in here. And say, deconstruct the dimlet into parts. And it'll take all the parts. Now, if we look this up, this is chiseled stone. Oh, there's lots of different chiseled stones. But we'll get something like this. Theoretically, we could get these pieces back. Except for the essence part. You know what? Let's back up a second here. So each dimlet is composed of 6 parts. The base, the control circuit, which determines its rarity, or is determined by its rarity, the energy module, which determines how much energy it requires, the memory unit, and the controller, and the essence. We cannot get an essence item out of this thing. We can only get the first 5 parts. And even those, there's a chance, I think there's a 40% chance that we're not going to get them. So if we extract this guy, we're going to probably get, you know, roughly half, slightly more than half of the dimlets. Now we did get a base part, which is great because we need base parts. We got a controller and we got a basic memory unit. So now we can use those to construct more dimlets. And we got some more base parts. We got another base part. We got another material type. And another basic memory unit. And a basic energy module that time. Okay, so this time we got all the same stuff again. And then we also got a control circuit with a rarity of 0. That's our first control circuit. Actually, I hope we have some control circuits in here. What the heck is going on with the typing in here? Yeah, we got lots of control circuits. Ooh, lots and lots of them. Okay. Oh, and plus I got some more dimlet parcels, so we can get some more parts from those. Make another one of these guys. And we'll just do another random dimension. And, oh, actually, we've got to construct it first. So this guy's going to start losing power right now because we only have one dimension builder. If we want to maintain several dimensions, we're going to need several dimension builders. I'm just going to throw it in this chest for now. I don't really care much about that dimension anyway. Alright, so this guy's done. So let's shift right click on him. And then I'm just going to throw it back in there so it can fill up its buffer. And let's see what we got. Flooded. Okay, we got a flooded cavern. That's a cavern, almost like the Nether, except it's flooded, and we're gonna end up spawning on the top of it. Base block is chiseled stone. Oh, that's weird. It really likes chiseled stone. We're getting a lot of chiseled stone stuff. Maybe because there's so many of them, so many variations. Tendril block. We have glass tendrils. Apparently, we have a feature tendrils and a feature huge orbs. Dimensional pattern 1 block. Okay. Mossy stone bricks. Well, let's just check it out and see. At least we didn't end up with any crazy mobs. Everything else looks pretty normal. But we're going to want the Ring of Chordata so that we can go underwater without worrying about dying. So we'll just... Yeah, I'm not even wearing an amulet. We'll swap it out for the Ring of Far Reach. And we'll change this to go... Oh, I forgot to give this guy a name too. Make sure we have enough power to get back. We have plenty of power. In fact, our battery is still in here. Oh, no. What was it called? Battery. Ah! Oh. Yuck. Okay. Where's our... There it is. So there's a matter receiver. Oh, just so you know, I should probably mention this. There are a couple different ways that you can die. If the dimension runs out of power, you die. When you teleport, you instantly die as soon as you get here. If it runs out of power while we're here, we die. There are ways to prevent that. We can get a... What is that called again? Oh, I didn't even bother to check how much power this thing was using. If you have a phased field generator in your hotbar and it's full of RF, it will save you for a while. Look at this. Chiseled stone. A whole world made out of... What is that? Oh, those are the tendrils. Made out of chiseled glass. Ooh, one of the nice things about these guys, these types of worlds, the caverns, is that it's really easy to find our dimlet places. So this is going to be a really good place for us to go to get these. Look, we can see two of them right here. Oh, and another one right there. Holy crap. Yeah, I'll explore those off camera. But in the meantime, we'll do something a little bit more interesting. Wait, can we break these blocks? No, we can't. Okay. See if we can find the cavern. Holy crap. Oh, you know what? There aren't going to be any dimensional shards here. Because the base block is chiseled stone. This one's a bust, but I'm going to run around collecting dimlets for a while. I collected a ton of dimlets and dimlet parts and such. Normal terrain dimlet with stone and water, so this should give us a normal world. Weather is default, effect is none. I'm thinking maybe, because I want this to be a mining dimension. No, I don't. I want a flat world for a mining dimension. Never mind. Let's just go with this. We'll leave a lot. We're leaving a lot to chance. But we'll see what we get. Let's take a peek at this. Slide back in there. And see what we get. Silverfish. Oh, crap. I hate silverfish. Ugh. Celestial angle 0.5. Okay. Brightness, controller filtered. Well, we'll see what we get. This is dimension number 4. Let's just do a dial once so that, yeah. Oh, we're in the middle of an ocean. Okay, so this isn't... So it is a normal world. There's a dimlet building. Dimlet buildings are easy to find in the oceans, too. That's nice. What is this weirdness here? Planes. Oh, there we go. Okay. What the? What the heck was that? I have a feeling we're stuck at midnight here in this world. Which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Is this in Extreme Hills? Extreme Hills. Look at that. Okay, I think I'm going to set up a quarry here. Because why not? So that we can get some dimensional shards. But let's just dig straight down. Let's see, how are we doing with power? Good. Okay. I'm going to dig straight down here and see what we find. Dimensional shards appear at Y level 40 or below. I'm just going to go all the way down to bedrock and then we'll take a look at the, the little cavern that we make here. Whoa. Oh, I think I just saw an emerald. Okay, we're down to bedrock. Copper. Yay! We're mining! I'm actually doing a little bit of manual mining here too to get some dimensional shards with Silk Touch. I'm gonna need a lot, so I may end up getting a Silk Touch card, but I don't want I don't want to deal with all kinds of silk touch stuff. The only thing that I want silk touched is the dimensional shards. Because sometimes silk touch is a pain in the butt. Because then you have to process all the ores differently, and I just don't have all the ore processing set up for silk touch. But whatever, I'm gonna see what I can do. See if I can get enough just manually. So far, I'm not doing so well with that. Ooh, I'll take this though. So I grabbed the matter receiver from our spawn point, and I'm just throwing it over here. So now when we teleport to this dimension, this is where we're going to end up. So this dimension is actually turning out to be really nice for mining. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's always midnight, but we can change that. And we will in the next episode. And we'll also look into making material dimlets for our dimensional shards. We're also going to make some more interesting dimensions. And maybe even one kind of just interesting, fun, kind of magical dimension that we can just explore in and have fun in. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching.